Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. Here we are, we're still social distancing, still missing the gym, still training at home. Um, what I want to cover in today's video is some techniques that you can use to make just about any exercise more challenging. It's one of the big limitations of all this home training is that the number of exercises you can choose from is somewhat limited. So I think it's really useful now if all of our athletes have a good understanding of how they can start to progress an exercise and start to challenge themselves and really start to take the lead on that. So in this video I've used the squat to demonstrate all of these techniques, but I just want to point out that you can use this for any or all of the exercises that you've been enjoying doing at home. Alright, so give these a whirl. Good luck. Alright, so first up, try some slow eccentrics, so slowing down the movement on the way down. Normally a 3-second or a 5-second eccentric is great for a set of like 10 or 15 reps, or you can try a really slow eccentric like I've done here. Try a 20-second, maybe for a set of 5 would be good. Next, you can try adding a pause in the contracted position, in the bottom position. So you can try pausing at the bottom of your squats. Here I'm doing about a 5-second pause, and that's really effective. And then you just, on the way up, you just travel at a normal, natural speed, just like on the previous technique. Here, so trying to increase the velocity of any exercise is always going to make it more forceful, and that makes it more challenging in its own way. So try and drive up as fast as you can. That might even result in you jumping off the ground. Next technique, so changing the angles, changing the leverages, changing the torso positions, and changing the stance width, or kind of changing the setup of any exercise is going to help. So that just there I have my heels elevated, which just changes the exercise. Here I'm doing a really narrow stance, which again just changes the emphasis on what muscles are working, changes the way the joints are moving. Next one, I've gone much wider with the stance than I would normally go, attempting a bit of a sumo squat there. Again, just changing the emphasis and making the exercise more challenging. Here I've gone for an overhead, so by putting a weight over your head in any exercise, it changes all the angles. Particularly in the squat, it changes the torso angle, makes the kind of mobility aspect of the movement more challenging. And then finally, I've gone for what we refer to in the gym as a potato sack squat, so trying to touch the ground, and again that just changes all the angles. Next option is going for a unilateral variation of the exercise. So in this example, instead of squatting, I'm going to do a split squat, or I'm going to do these lateral squats, or if I'm feeling particularly brave, I'm going to try some single leg squats. This version works really nicely squatting down off of a raised platform. Okay, next, so back to the two-footed version of the squat here then. So we're just messing with the range of motion. So whatever exercises you've been doing, whatever range of motion you've been using, see if you could explore a greater range of motion, and that will always increase kind of the muscle activation and the muscle involvement, and just make everything more challenging for you. So I've gone there from like a couple of partial range squats and then into what I would call a full squat, so where your hamstrings rest on your calves. Next one, 1.5 reps. So you can apply this to all kinds of different exercises. The idea is you go all the way down, you come up halfway, and then whoops, straight back down into that most uncomfortable position before you rise again. Then the obvious, you can add some resistance. So you can use elastic resistance bands like this, or you can just load up a heavy rucksack and add some weight that way. Next, you can create some instability. Here I've just used a pile of cushions. Again, it just completely changes the game, changes the challenge. Definitely worth trying on any exercise, that one. Training density, so hopefully you've already tried just increasing the number of repetitions and the number of sets that you're able to do on the exercises that you've been learning at home. Density training specifically relates to trying to squeeze in as many reps as you possibly can in a set time. So maybe give yourself like 3 minutes and do as many reps as you can, just taking breathers when you need to, and try and improve that every time. Next technique, this is pre-exhaust superset. So training relevant exercises and training the muscle groups that are involved in the squat, training those before you go into your set of squats. So here I've done some glute and hamstring type bridges, then I've done some split squats, and then I just go straight into my set of squats that I wanted to do with the muscles already pre-exhausted. Again, that just changes the challenge. Here we're going to pre-exhaust in preparation for the squat, but we're going to do it by using one very long isometric contraction. You'll just have to take my word for it that I was sat in that squat position for quite a long time before eventually giving up and just getting stuck into one set for as many repetitions as you can possibly manage. This is a really good, really challenging way of using a pre-exhaust technique there. Okay, my final offering for you then. Try filling up your rest periods with a different and unrelated exercise. Try and learn to recover from your exercise whilst doing something else. Okay, so the advice would be, guys, take one of the techniques you've seen there and apply it to an exercise. Practice it for 3 to 6 weeks. Try and master that progression before you move on to another. I hope that's been useful, guys. Good luck. Thanks very much.